What's up? What's up? What up? What up? Let's get the sound right. We got the Wi-Fi on point. Fuck yeah. The lighting is stupendous. Stupendous right now. Get the mic a little closer to me. Just doing a little, like I said, knock on whatever. The sound seems to be good. Just like 1 out of every 30, 40 streams. It's just not there, and I have to reboot the system. But luckily, hold on, I'm getting a communique. Yeah, 100%. Let me just answer this person back. People texting me about Hinchcliffe's performance at the Trump rally, all right, enough of that. I'm not necessarily high energy right now. I know only 3 likes, only 5 people in here. The numbers are actually going down on my streams. I might just stop doing streams. I don't need this shit. But I like doing them for the hardcore soldiers. Thank you very much. That's how we do it here. I do it for the fans. What up, Dr. Chow? Dr. Chow. We can talk political humor. We can talk about anything, but you know what? I will be on MLC tomorrow, but they haven't really said you're coming on at 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Maybe they forgot. And if they forgot, that's all good too. Well, Dr. Nova, I don't get into that kind of discussion here. But, listen, he took some swings. They missed for the most part. That's comedy. I took swings last night at the Comedy Store, but difference is there was about 200 people in the room, not 20,000. But Tony loves it. He's a fucking wrestling bad guy. Deep down he loves this publicity. I don't know. I don't think he will. He can't, that fan base you can't apologize to. You got to double down. And then in a week, no one will remember. Because then the election, in a week from now, we're talking about the election. Like, nobody's going to care about a Trump rally from a week ago. So he'll take some heat the next 48 hours, and then the news cycle just goes on to something else. I don't know. Dr. Nova, it's funny. I was just thinking, I've been to Madison Square Garden for Ranger games. I would say the capacity for hockey is about 19 to 20,000, maybe a little more if you add some seats creatively. Basketball, it's probably about the same. For a concert, it's a little, like for someone like Springsteen, they'll have seats in the back of the stage, whereas, like if it's a band that's not exactly sold out, they won't have that section. I would say maybe 23,000. Okay. I don't know. I've never been to MSG for a concert. So I would say for a political event, it's probably about 20,000. It was fully packed, so it seemed to be about 20,000 people in there. So I mean, hopefully MLC will be good. I mean, to be honest with you, Dr. Chow could be horrible because I don't really want to talk about the Dabbleverse, but that is the show that basically drives the Dabbleverse. I just like Kevin so much as a comic that I'll try out a few jokes, and if he laughs, I'm good. Misery Loves Company. It's basically a streaming podcast on YouTube done by Kevin Brennan. No, that's okay. I mean, I am so familiar with concerts just due to when I dated uh, Motorhead's co-manager or whatever her official title is, because she also works for Live Nation and Clear Channel to this day, and the official count for a concert is really depends on the artist. Like Springsteen, they're going to jam as many fucking seats in that arena wherever he is playing. Same thing with like Metallica. Like you could see when I went to see Metallica at SoFi Stadium, which was completely sold out. They had added every fucking floor seat you could add. I mean, there were like it was impressive. So, but if it's like a band like that's not selling that great, or is it just barely sold out, they don't really, like AEW, to be honest, which is my favorite wrestling company, they black out seats, they put black tarp over empty seats. There's all kinds of creative ways to make a venue look full, camera angles and such. But from what I saw, Madison Square Garden was pretty full. Sorry, 10,000. Well, it's Kevin's podcast, so I don't I don't dislike him. I just want this stream to be kind of loosey goosey, stay loose. I don't want to talk about anything in that world. It's just not interesting to me. Yeah, I mean, Kevin's a great stand-up, man. He's just edgy, funny. Um, I love the delivery. So, uh, we'll see what happens. Uh, I mean, Kiss. Well, definitely at the last two shows at MSG. I mean, it was pretty packed. But if you'll notice, like some shows at MSG are, loosely sold out, so there's no one really behind the drummer. Because who wants to pay for that seat? But if it's like Kiss or Springsteen or I mean, MSG is too small for Metallica, which is crazy. Uh, you'll see people in those seats for the more popular Taylor Swift. Like, I mean, playing MSG to her would be like playing a broom closet. So but in terms of the political event today, it seemed pretty full. Like I didn't see any empty seats. So Lois has had a rough day today, to be honest with you. A lot of coughing and wheezing, and um, she threw up a couple times. But she completed her walks fully. So thank you for asking, Staggy. She's currently resting on the couch, and we'll it's day by day with Lois. Yesterday she was running around like a maniac. Today it was a little rougher. But she is 14, so well, I mean, it's a big venue for most bands, but like someone like Taylor Swift, like it's a small. She probably would laugh at being, hey, most bands, if they were sales pitched a sold out show at Madison Square Garden, they'd be like, fuck yeah. Um, Taylor Swift, she'd be like, how about Giant Stadium, multiple nights? Um, I mean, I saw Journey and Def Leppard where the Nashville Predators play. I think it's called the Bridgestone Arena. Next door, or pretty much next door, was Taylor Swift at the Tennessee Titans Stadium. It was completely full. Like, so if you asked her to play Bridgestone Arena, she'd be like, no thanks. I'd literally rather not. I'd rather stay home. What up, Colt C? Um, what up? Yeah, I mean, it's just funny how like certain bands playing crypto.com arena. Yeah, fuck yeah. We could sell that place out and let's do it. Other bands, I'd rather play SoFi Stadium. So, best female comedian OnlyFans. I don't know, to be honest with you. I mean, I know the OnlyFans comedy shows are very popular. Like, you get paid very well for them. Someone told me like 5 grand each. Um, so, but I don't keep up. If I'm not on a show, I don't keep up with it. I don't really care. By the way, the Steelers, big game tomorrow. Speaking of Giant Stadium, I believe it's in Giant Stadium. Yeah, I mean, if you're doing stadium shows, like when I was at Metallica, because my friend Frankie was in the opening band Mammoth, like you just like it's really there's very few artists who can fill SoFi Stadium. And it was full. There wasn't an empty seat. Same thing when I went to WrestleMania. Like I don't know if AEW could pull off a show at SoFi Stadium. Because even at the second London show, you could see empty seats. It was still pretty full, but not as full as the first All in London, which was, I believe, completely sold out, something like 75,000 seats or something. Whereas the second All in London show, I think there was a little over 50. But I mean, there's very few bands who move the product that Metallica does. I mean, from t-shirts to record sales to live stadium. I mean, they probably wouldn't even consider playing Madison Square Garden. Uh, yeah, I mean, Bert playing arenas, Jimmy Carr plays arenas in the UK. I don't know if he could do that in the US, but he could play theaters for sure. Russell Peters, I mean, it's almost an insult to Russell to play a comedy club. It's like, well, let's play a theater instead. Um, I mean, he plays when he does Toronto, the Air Canada Center. That's fucking bonkers. Um, whereas I'd be like, yeah, I'll play a comedy club. The show last night at the Comedy Store was awesome. Probably about 200 people when I got up. I believe the show was nearly sold out, not quite, but nearly. And but everyone ran the fucking lights, so my 12:15 spot started at 1:05. So you know, but I didn't walk one person, man. They all stayed. Um, so it was a very fun show. Hit the like button if you're feeling nasty. That's Lois in the background. Yeah, I mean Gabriel Iglesias, he plays I don't know if he plays stadiums, but he plays arenas for sure. Leslie wasn't there last night. I mean, if she was there last night, holy fuck. And the Booker wasn't there last night. So, when the Booker's not there, people are like, well, I can do a few extra minutes. And, that's the problem. If one comic does it, it's not that bad. But comics are literally like little fucking kids. So if the comic after the comic who runs the light, you know, they were like, well, I'm going to do a few extra minutes if they did a few extra minutes. And then the comic after that person, well, if the last two comics have run the light, I'm going to run the light. And, it's a fucking domino effect. And then I get up there after 6 or 7 comics have run the light and it's fucking bonkers. So, oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good point, Ryan. I mean, uh, well, I mean, I would love to do it. I don't know. I mean, I really can't fathom playing in front of 50,000 people, but I mean, you bring up Gabriel Iglesias. I mean, those are hardcore. They're like Kiss fans, his fans. So I think I could do it. It's so far beyond my realm that it's hard to think it because I don't move around a lot. I mean, a little bit, but I think a stadium show would really be for someone like a Dane Cook or D'Elia back in the day. Matt Rife, who moves around a lot, does a lot of act outs. I just tell jokes, but I certainly wouldn't mind playing the stadium just for the merch alone. Yeah, thank you, David. I'm glad I had a good set too. Have you ever been heckled on stage? Yeah, I mean, last night I was heckled, but these guys were so coked up that it really wasn't even being heckled. I mean, they were just having fun, and none of the heckles were that bad. Um, they were just real boozed up and coked up. I mean, it's late. I mean, but like I said, by the time I got on stage at 1:05, I would guess this one particular table to my left had probably had 3 to 4 drinks each. Probably, I noticed they kept going to the bathroom too, so I'm sure they washed down their booze with a little bit of the yayo. So, but in general, I don't get heckled too much. And it's a big mistake for people who do heckle me, because I'm I'm not the funniest comic. I'm not the greatest writer, but very few comics are quicker than me. Like I'm just too good. Not I'm just too fast. So anyone who heckles me is going to get an instant response, and the odds are I'm going to be funnier. Like the one time I caused a huge fight outside on the sidewalk was I'm on stage in the main room and it's packed. I mean, there isn't you couldn't have put another person in this room. Saturday night, I forget, and no one really famous was on the lineup that night. It was just a very good lineup, and table full of Raider fans. I could just tell they were Raider fans. And when I walked in the room, they were heckling Liza Traeger, who's very funny, but she's very chill and got that stoner humor. And so they were kind of heckling her, and she was putting them down. But I mean, when I walked in, there's many ways to get backstage in the main room at the Comedy Store. But this particular night, I chose to walk through the hallway and cut through the back row of the main room, and then you cut around to the lobby. You go behind the front desk, and there's a little back hallway. And as soon as I walked into the main room, this table was heckling her. And it was something about, sexual assault or rape or some kinda like, it was like, "Oh, man, this is a trouble table." Like, I knew within 10 seconds, be ready for them. And she gives me a great intro, and I'm doing fine. I mean, I'm not Joey Diaz killing, but I'm doing good. And, man, I wish I could say the word they used, but I'm gonna say a word that rhymes with the word. So I'm doing well, and all of a sudden, one of them yells off, "Take off those leather pants, you maggot." Substitute F for M. And I point 2 seconds later was like, "You're calling me a maggot, but you're at a table with 5 guys and 2 girls who look like guys." And 2 of them tried to storm the stage. Now they were never going to get to me because they were in the cheap seats in the back, and they would have had to gone through 3 security guards to get to me. And the security guards at the Comedy Store now are big fucking dudes. One guy I think literally worked for the Israeli army. So these are not guys you want to fuck with. Um, so that table got kicked out. Now I did not ask for them to be kicked out, but they got kicked out. And apparently, while I'm still on stage, a huge brawl broke out between them and some of the security staff, and it was game on. So that's probably the last time there was an incident when I got heckled. And I remember one time I was in the main room. A lot of this happens in the main room because it's a big room. You don't really get heckled in the original room because it's so small that it's intimidating for the heckler to rip into you because you can see them pretty easily. But in the main room, you get heckled a little bit more. And in the front row is that Disney star. I think his name's Kyle Massey. No, not the front row. The front row after the front row. So basically the second row, but it's the first row of tables. And he's got 3 girls with him. And you could I'm an observer. Like I said, I might not be the funniest comic, I might not be the greatest writer, but I can read a room, a table, uh, pretty well. And I instantly picked up on the fact that these 3 girls did not know about each other. So on a he's got 3 dates that night, but they're all at the same table, and it was very clear that, the hotter girl had a problem with at least one, probably both of the other, 2, and Kyle's just loving the attention. So the pretty one starts heckling me, and, you know, I kinda played with him a little bit because the key when you get heckled is you gotta let the crowd know that there's a disturbance in the force. And uh, the girl who was kind of heckling me was being kind of quiet about it. So I got to let the people in the back of the room know this bitch is not cool. So I started playing with her a little bit because I knew she'd be getting louder and louder. And then, after a few minutes of playing with her, the whole crowd was on my side. So then that's when I locked in. So I said to Kyle Massey, I think his name's Kyle Massey. I'm like, hey man, you're paying by the hour for this one, so let's wrap this up. And the whole crowd burst out laughing. And basically, I was calling her a whore without calling her a whore because I don't want to alienate the women in the room by calling her a whore. But basically, even the women in the room were like, shut the fuck up. So, you really got to, um, I think, and now I don't get heckled a lot, but you really have to, the key to handling a heckle is you gotta let the crowd know, hey, this person's being, because it's not every heckle is, hey, you suck. Sometimes it's a quiet heckle in the front, and the people in the back have to be made aware. And I'm one of the few comics at the store, the security guys and girls, they love me. So anytime something breaks out, they're like, they try and shut. I'm like, no, no, let them go. I got it. Yeah, Tony spoke at the Trump rally. It is crazy. The results are mixed in terms of how he did, but he knew the deal. Hello, Dr. Nova gets it. Like Dr. Nova listens to me. What up, Kip7? I know I was on the roast of Popeye from Blood In, Blood Out with Martin Marino. I kind of felt bad for him because he was like, uh, this was a wild roast, and a shout out to George Perez for hey, can we hit the like button? 3 likes? Come on, man. We can do better than that. I don't fucking ask you guys. I disagree, Dr. Chow. Tony is not rich as fuck. He's got money. Russell Peters is rich as fuck. Joe Rogan's rich as fuck. But that also is when certain people say so and so's rich, I grew up in Bel Air. So when like the guy who was our neighbor, Howard Keck of Keck Oil Industries, when the USC Medical Building is named the Howard Keck Medical Building, that's rich. But he's got money, 100%. Like, there's no doubt about it. I mean, I knew him when he worked at Starbucks, so he's absolutely, and you have to give it to him for, okay, doctor. Now you're trolling, Dr. Chow. Hold on, I'm about to sneeze. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I mean, I don't know Tony's finances. Maybe he is a billionaire. I don't know. Whether it's accurate or not, the Republicans are perceived as having an issue with race. Well, I think, um, it's a political rally, so I think that um, I mean, it's tough. I mean, some of the jokes didn't land. I mean, you can have a racist joke, but it better be funny. Like I have a joke about the first time I heard the N word, and I've only said the N word once on stage at in the OR when I think Jason Galern or Ryan O'Neal was like, "Hey Earl, why don't you do your N word joke now?" Because there's a giant black guy in the front row. I mean, think Aaron Donald big. I mean, this guy must have been a pro athlete or a pro wrestler at some point. And he looks at me and goes, "You can say it, bro, but it better be funny." So I said, "Fuck it." And I said it. And it's a great joke. And it really only works if you can say that word. I've tried it a few times substituting it, and it's just not. And it's a funny joke. So I watched Tony on today, and I think he did like a kill Tony type set to a political rally. But those fans, they're Trump fans. They're not necessarily Tony fans. So, but I'm not saying I could have done a better job. I mean, whoever asked him to do the rally, they knew what they were getting. So it's not like a secret the type of humor Tony does. So that's on them for booking him if, they knew he was going to do like racist and edgy jokes. So, that's I don't fault Tony for doing that style. It's his style. It's like if you book me for an event, I'm dry, sarcastic, slow delivery, and you're upset because I didn't do like act outs. Well, you knew I didn't do act outs before you booked me. So, but Tony won't be hurt by this. It really, like I said, the news cycle is so fast these days that, as soon as the next Trump rally happens, people won't remember about the MSG rally. So I did see that, Dr. Nova. Yeah, that's probably right. I mean, I don't know how much, what up, Doom, in the house, one of the preeminent clickers in, the not Clippers, street Clippers, yes, preeminent Clippers, you and, my lost interest. Um, was today a bigger crowd than WrestleMania? Not even close. I mean, WrestleMania is held in stadiums. I mean, I was at WrestleMania at SoFi Stadium, and there was at least 80,000 people in there. And if you said 100,000, I wouldn't be like, no way. I mean, it was packed. Every section was packed. So, I think with some of the jokes that didn't land, like I said, that those are Trump fans in there, not necessarily Tony. I mean, two aren't necessarily the same. So, and what I mean by that is, it's like I don't know how many people in that room listen to Kill Tony, because you could tell that fan base, Trump's fan base in that arena was probably 35 and up. And I don't know if a lot of people 35 and up watch, say, a show like Kill Tony. Now, maybe they do. I don't know the fucking breakdown of the Kill Tony demographics, but I would say that Kill Tony's probably more popular with people 15 to 35. You know, so well, I'll stick up for Tony on that one, extraneous from the standpoint of it's hard to play to an audience of 20,000 people. And listen, as a comic who has done some tough gigs, and I've certainly never been close to playing in front of 20,000 people. I mean, I think the largest crowd I ever played in front of was the Ric Flair roast, which was about 2,000 people. Um, it's hard to play to an arena crowd. Like if you're playing at the Comedy Store, you can look into someone's eyes and do some shtick, and But you can't really single out one person in a 20,000 seat arena. Um, so, well, I don't know, but I'm saying I want to see you on Maton Evans' show, man. What a bump! I mean, I reached out to him. I mean, he probably won't even get the message. Uh, isn't that the kid who David Lucas was creepy with? I mean, I mean, I'll do anyone's podcast. I mean, I had a good time on Jesse Lee Peterson's, although it didn't really do much for me in terms of like followers, and I thought it would, to be honest with you, because Jesse has about 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, and then the Fallen State, the show, the direct show page has about 500,000. So that's a million subscribers. Now you got to figure there's some carryover between the two. So let's say that's 300,000 legit subscribers. And I don't think I picked up more than 100, which I'm not complaining. When you only have 2,400 views or 2,400 subscribers, and then you wake up and, a couple days later, you've got 2,550, that's better than nothing. And virtually maybe picked up about 10 to 20 followers on Instagram. So it didn't really help me as much as I thought it would. Will you get trick or treaters? No, because our building has a gate that you have to know the code for. So I think most people don't. Maybe William Zoom. I don't know. I mean, uh, probably. I mean, I would say most of the feedback um, that I got on Jesse's show was good. I mean, there was a few who said, "Oh, this guy doesn't say he likes white people. He's a cuck." Like I really do like all people. So, but I get like Jesse's fan base, I mean, Jesse's a troll, so most of his fans are trolls. So would I go on the show again? Yeah, I absolutely would. But Mayton's show, that's a show that maybe if a fan reached out to him too, and I'm not trying to get you guys to do my dirty work, but that's someone who, like I send him a message, so then maybe a fan sends him a message. Oh yeah, I don't know who this guy is. I'll have him on. So I know virtually nothing about him, but I would go on the show, I'd go on anyone's show, to be honest with you. I mean, that's probably the best way to get more subscribers. Um, for me, I mean, I would love to have 100,000 subscribers. My friend Jordan, who you guys are familiar with, I mean, he kills it on YouTube. I mean, and he started out with less followers or subscribers than I do that I have now, and he just was consistent. He put out video after video after video after video, and now he's got, I think, close to 400,000 subscribers. He'll do a stream, and he doesn't do them very often. He'll make 400 to $1,000 a stream. So I mean, but I wouldn't research him. Like I like going into shows blind, so it's organic. So I go in there, and if he's trolling me, I can play with anyone. There's no one who's going to be quicker than me. You might have someone funnier than me, but I'm just blessed with a supersonic fast mind, and I'm not even that smart, to be honest with you. Like it's not like I was some great academia student, but I'm just quick. So you just can't teach it. You either have it or you don't. Um, it's like I got into an argument today while I was walking Lois with this guy I know. He teaches comedy, and I'm like, bro, what? He put out this flyer that I can help teach you stage presence. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You can't teach stage presence. You either have it or you don't. Like you look at Hinchcliffe at the Trump rally today. He's got a presence, whether you like him or not. The suit, he's a very 80s pro wrestling heel. And you can't teach that. Tony has that bad guy because he's a wrestling fan. So he personifies, that Mr. Perfect, Rick Rude type of almost Gary Hart energy of uh, I don't give a fuck. Um, so I mean, I mean, he's got to see my message, but so just get some Rick James knee highs. By the way, I highly recommend Hotel Cocaine um, with Danny Pino, Michael Chiklis. It's on MGM. If you have that, check it out. That's the sad thing is I really did like my time in the Groundlings. Like I got a lot from it. My teacher was so fucking bitter, Sean Hogan, by the way, um, that it's just like, bro, don't get mad at me because you're not making it in Hollywood. I'm not the one who's in charge of the business. But he clearly, in my case, was I'm gonna fuck with this guy just because people fucked with me. And the way he did it was just wrong. Basically encouraging me at the end. How they did it was at the end of you take 12 classes, at the end of the 6, he evaluates you, and then he tells you yay or nay at the end of the 12th class. And at the end of the 6th class, he's like, bro, you're the team leader, you're the funniest guy in class. You just have to you have to work a little bit on your space work. Now, space work is like I'm holding this cup right now. I took a drink out of this cup right now. Space work is acting like there's a cup in your hand and drinking from it. You see how my hand looks like it's holding something invisible? I definitely needed to do that because when I was first walked into the Groundlings, I would literally be like if I was asked to simulate being on a phone instead of like going like that, I would literally go like that. That does not look like I'm on a phone. So I did need to work on that 100%. But I should have been passed to the second level. I probably wasn't ever going to be good enough to get to the performance level because I'm much more of a stand-up than I am an improver. Um, so, Dr. Sean Hogan did not think that. At the rally, Tony had the presence of Ernest Rome. I mean, well, I'll say this: it was tough to follow the national anthem. I mean, you're not set up for success. But it's not a comedy show. Tony was the only comic on the show that I know of, unless you count Tucker Carlson. Hello, boing, boing, boing. So, he had Tony basically went on first. And when you do edgy humor, now Tony's probably the least known person on the show. When you look at who else was on the show, so he essentially had to go first. I mean, you wouldn't put Tony after say Tucker Carlson. Um, so going first and doing edgy and racy jokes, it's a tough sell. Unless you're in a Kill Tony room, and I don't think that audience was a Kill Tony crowd. Yes, there were some probably carryover Trump fans, but there's a lot of Trump fans who are, you know, um, from middle America who don't like, that kind of humor. So, but Tony will survive. I've seen some fellow comics probably just jealous that he got the gig, saying, "Oh, he's canceled, he's ruined." That's what you thought after Peng Dang, and the Peng Dang thing actually made Tony stronger. So, because the great thing about Tony is he doesn't act, so you can't cancel him off of a TV show, or a movie or whatever. He's the podcast. That's his thing. And podcasts are so good because you can cancel Tony off of YouTube, take him off of Apple Podcasts. You could just start your own server and put your podcast on that, and people would flock to it. So um, I just think that if you have a very successful podcast like Kill Tony, you can't really be canceled. Your main room is the store, right? I need the names of what the spot is called for the tweet. Yes, the Comedy Store. And then, you might, in terms of, you can mention, I mean, the jellies and roast battle is what I'm most known for. I don't know if he actually cares about the actual credits, but Alex Jones at the Comedy Store. That's news to me. I don't think I've been on the same lineup with him, but like I think Tony would kill on Alex Jones because that crowd loves the fucking wacky humor. So, oh, I see what you did it. Yeah, I mean Alex Jones. Look at him. He's a perfect example of no radio network would fucking touch that guy. With all the fucking wacky vaccine opinions and the deep state, black ops. You got sponsors on like a major radio station that would be like, I don't think so. But you just whip up your own servers and you know, bingo. I mean, that's the great thing about podcasts is that if you're big enough, you can't get canceled, man. And if they try and cancel you get stronger. It's like don't throw water on the gremlins. Well, they get bigger if they do. But that's crazy though. That Alex Jones has like health products. I mean, you literally can't pick a guy who's as unhealthy as Alex Jones. Fat, sweating. You're gonna take vitamins that he's hawking? I don't think so. But it's working for him. So what the hell do I know? I'm doing a stream right now to 15 people, so maybe I should just start shilling vitamins. Who knows? Who knows? I'm getting all kinds of text and what. Yes, it is all about the merch. Let me see. I'm getting some wacky texts, some tweets. I mean, you guys are going buck wild on Twitter tonight. Let's see. Block me. He seems to be a real voyeur. Yeah, I mean, boner pills. Maybe I should just come up with my own boner pill. Earl auditioned for one of Biff's lackeys in Back to the Future. I don't believe I did, Ross. That would be great if I became a billionaire through boner pills. The big boner, just called the big boner. I mean, just cut right through the fucking. There's no guesswork because you don't really know what Rhino 68 is. You're like, that could be any number of supplements. But if you walk into a store and you see something called the big boner, it's not a lot of guesswork as to what it is. You could call your boner pills hog pill. Yeah, but that's still a lot of guesswork, Dr. Nova. The big boner, the B boner, the boner. Just call it the boner pill. Just call it boner pill. I mean, it's I believe in subtle and simple advertising. So Earl's get evil deed on that booty pills. What are you, Sean Kemp speaking like that? Earl's got evil dead on that booty pills. All right. Hit the like button. How about that? Hit the like button. We'll do another 15 minutes. Well, you can have many more questions, Kip Smith. Last question. Kinnison Brody. Who else worked that spot? Tripoli and me. I mean, it's not easy to do the spot I had last night. You have to be a comic of a specific skill set to, like I said, follow. I mean, who was on the lineup last night? Rick Ingram, Steph Tolev, Byron Bowers. I mean, he's a killer. I mean, he was killing before I went on. I mean, he was doing so well that the crowd's probably gearing up. Okay, no one's going to be as good as this guy is. And then Byron, I've said this many a time on this stream. The key to a late night set is the comic before you giving you a good intro. And he gave me a great intro last night. Probably over the top. We don't talk about Rob Saul in here. You change that screen handle. Yes, thank you. We can if you compliment me. Yeah, I'm going, if I do these nighttime streams, I am going to the darkness with the red neon. I think it's a good look. And, maybe at some point I'll have like a lava lamp over here to get the mood going a little bit. I mean, I'm trying everything I can for you kids to make this stream as functional and as fun as possible. So pocket boners are chewable. Thank you, Total Pain Diaz. Welcome. Uh, well, I mean, packaging's, it's all about the logo. Boner, I mean, I mean, really, these boner pills all have the same ingredients. It's just crushed up Viagra mixed in with a little arginine. And, I mean, that I would love to. Now, I'd be off the radar in terms of, having anything to do with the publicly. I would just, all of a sudden, if you guys are ever in a 7-Eleven one night and you see the big boner, you would probably, oh my God, it happened. And we all talked about it on that Sunday night stream many, many years ago. Um, thank you, my nephew Rob Saul knocked me up. We try to avoid the Dabbleverse talking here. Um, but welcome. I'm not really in a position to kick people out of here with only 13 people in the house. But welcome aboard. I've often thought of an energy drink with, um, a nice combo of caffeine and really just crushed up Viagra. Uh, that's all that shit is. And, those things are hard to get FDA clearance. But you could, like, you could really market it towards bars. Like everyone wants a Red Bull and vodka. I mean, I don't drink, but not everyone, but a lot of people want a Red Bull and vodka. So, Red Bull's just too big. You're never going to completely take, they're like the Nike of energy drinks, but you can have a niche. Bang is certainly chewed into their cut. Rockstar, Monster. I mean, there's some competitors, but you really don't have an energy drink that uh, has a erection inducing ability. I mean, Extends did have one. I've told that story before in here, but you really have to. Um, I think be clever with the marketing. Um, I mean, listen, erectile dysfunction is something that's never going away. And every year there's a new group of dudes who have it. Just every year you get older, you're going to have some, and some guys are very lucky. I know guys in their 70s who fuck regularly and they don't take Viagra or anything. They're just horned up. Usually they're pretty healthy, which I think helps. But um, candy coated big boners. Yeah, I mean that candy with Viagra in it. I mean, call it you know, boner, boner taffy. Um, Japanese erection voting. All right, I don't total pain Diaz. Are you and who was you and Felix W writing tweets together? Monster boner. Yeah, I mean, there's something that's as stupid as monster boner. Like, who wouldn't take that at least once? Um, well, I mean, listen, I'm of the belief that any business, if it's well planned, can survive. Now in LA, I'm sure I know ACDC's in Chicago, and I know Zoom's on the East Coast. But I'm obsessed with restaurants, and Dantana's is probably the most well-known Italian restaurant in the city. It's on the corner, basically, of Doheny and Santa Monica Boulevard, and you know, there's a couple restaurant spaces by it, and it's a flavor of the month restaurant will open up thinking, hey, we can take a run at Dantana's, and they all go out of business within a year because Dantana's, if you're ever lucky enough to go there, and I highly recommend it, if anyone ever needs help with reservations, I know the girl. It's one of the perks of the Earlverse. Um, you know, all the waiters, they're professional waiters. None of them are actors. The bartender's been there for 30 fucking years. The maitre d's have all been there 10 plus years. The servers, the bussers, they've all been there for 10 to 20 years. So everyone inside of that building that is called Dantana's, 60 years it's been the number one place in the city, is because they are career insert whatever they do, bartenders, waiters, valets. And these new places pop up. You've got actors as the waiters. They don't know the menu. They're slow. They don't refill your fucking water. You never have to ask for anything at Dantana's. So in terms of Red Bull, I mean, obviously they're a billion-dollar company. I believe an energy drink could, make a run at them, but it has to be, you've got to appeal to young people. I mean, Red Bull appeals to young people. So yeah, so and so gives you boners. Um, so, well, I mean, Dantana's is just like it's just next level. And there's also my friend Keith, his restaurant Jones on Santa Monica. Now there's also a restaurant called Jones on Third, but the Jones I go to is on Santa Monica and La Brea, and it's kind of like a younger version of Dantana's, and it's literally packed 7 nights a week. They don't do any wacky promotions. The food's amazing, and the servers, yes, they do have some actors as servers, but these kids are treated so well, none of them leave. I mean, I know one of them makes 6 figures a year acting. Like they are a successful, they're on NCIS, and the next week they're on CSI, blah, blah, blah. But they do so well at Jones, and they are treated so well at Jones that they don't leave. It's very similar to when I was a kid, the valets at the Bel Air Hotel. They all made 6 figures, and one was a really successful actor, and he still didn't leave. So, could you put that dick stuff in any food product? Yeah, I mean, you really could. I mean, like I said, I mean, my friend of mine from the gym was in the boner pill business. I'm like, bro, what's in these things? I mean, they work every time. He's like, oh, bro, it's just crushed up Viagra. They're just not legally allowed to say it. Um, oh yeah, I mean, um, 6 figure. I mean, like my building. um, I mean, you have to be pretty high income to live in my building, and it's not even that nice, to be honest with you. Jordan, I was just talking about you as an inspiration. You used to work at Jones, Jordan. Um, so I mean, but we were talking about, you know, uh, like I was saying that I think if you had an energy drink with a good concept, you could make a run at Red Bull. And I was saying how restaurants like Jones and Dantana's, they stay because all these restaurants, the newer ones that make runs at them, don't last because they don't provide what Jones or Dantana's does. Great service, amazing food, and neither place is really horribly expensive. I mean, if you take a date to Dantana's, you're gonna spend at least $100, especially if there's booze involved. But like, it's not gonna break your wallet. Um, yeah, I mean Jones. My friend works there. She's a very successful actress. I mean, she is the epitome of a working actress. Um, oh yeah, I mean, and even on their slow night, now I'm talking about Jones. Dantana's never really has a slow night. I mean, you could go in there right now. What is it? Sunday night at 8 o'clock. It's packed. There's not a table available. And you can go to Jones tonight and Sunday night at say midnight, and it's packed. Because Sunday night there is industry night, and that means all the servers, all the chefs, all the maitre d's, they all go there on Sunday night. So Sunday night is really Jones's only theme night, and it's unadvertised. It's just that's where the industry goes. So when maitre d's and servers and bartenders all go to Jones, it's good. So what was the last time you went to? I've never been to Mr. Chow's. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing with Dantana's, they don't advertise either. Now they did take out a big billboard on Sunset celebrating their 60th anniversary, but that's more out of a tribute. That I guarantee you, some rich person who eats at Dantana's was like, "Let me take out a billboard for you." Um, well, I mean, I think any business can succeed if it's good, and you look at Equinox as a gym. Equinox as a gym is incredibly expensive. I mean, you're talking the cheapest membership there is about $200 a month. But I will say, as someone who's been to all kinds of gyms, there's nothing that compares to Equinox. The cleanliness, the machines, the maintenance. I mean, if a machine is broken, it's literally fixed within hours. Versus, I go to John Reed, which is, um, it's an okay gym. I mean, um, it's in the heart of Boys Town, but it's got what I need. And you know, there was a toilet that was out of order for like 3 weeks at John Reed. At Equinox, that's not out of order for an hour. I mean, they are on it. So well, I mean, rich people can absolutely afford to pay big money, but another restaurant that's very popular, and it's kind of funny. It was started by the old maitre d at Dantana's, Craig's, on Melrose. That's packed out every night. It's basically, I would say Dantana's, Jones, and Craig's are the competitors. Um, so Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, restaurants, I mean, Dantana's definitely their repeat business uh, ratio is got to be close to 90%. I mean, and then word of mouth. And when you have word of mouth, and it's all managers, agents, real estate people, they all know. I mean, you talk about you become the average of the five people you hang around with the most. That's the Dantana's customer fan base. You go into any table at Dantana's right now, you're going to see real estate agent, acting manager, actor, successful musician, rich guy from Beverly Hills, rich guy from the Palisades, rich girl. The last time I was there, who was I with? Someone had taken me, a talent manager had taken me there for my birthday. And this girl knows everybody. And who sits down next to our table? The female owner of the St. Louis Cardinals. She sits down next to her, Jay Lux, who probably is a name that doesn't mean a lot to anyone in the stream, but Jay Lux is the Wayne Gretzky of commercial real estate in Los Angeles. If you see any for lease sign from Beverly Hills to Malibu, it's leased by Jay Lux. So, um, um, that's the clientele, and you don't think J Lux tells his friends, "Hey, let's go to Dantana's." You don't think this talent manager that took me to dinner, "Hey, let's take my client to Dantana's." And the same thing with Jones. You go into Jones right now, Sunday night, 8 o'clock. You've got working actors, agents, managers, musicians, comics. It's a big comedy store hang. A lot of waitresses and comics go there after their shift or their sets. So I might even go there tonight after I work out, get the ribeye. Um, so it just occurred to me well, I have a voiceover agent, so I don't know if that's going to yes, the bathroom walls. If you ever have a chance to go to the bathroom at Jones, you don't even have to go to the bathroom. I don't know what it's like in the women's room, but the men's room is all topless photos of customers. Um, and in the women's room, most women take a picture of themselves by the sink in the bathroom, and it gets pretty popular. I don't know if I would say viral, but it's just and the bartenders like at Jones, like when I was dating this one girl, we'd go in there, and before we even sat down, She liked, I forget what her drink of choice was, but it'd be on the table waiting for us, and a Red Bull and water. They are on it. Um, and that's very much the same way with Dantana's. Like the waiters all know, "Oh, Earl, would you like the chicken piccata again?" I mean, they are on it. Now, I also tip. I'm like Ray Liotta when I walk into Jones or Dantana's. Like, I'm like, here's $20 to the maitre d'. I tip the valet very nicely. I tip the guy who seats us very nicely. And that's why when I walk in the fucking Red Sea parts, baby dolls, tip the busser, tip the guy who sucks my dick in the bathroom. Hello. I'm just kidding. My bad. My bad. My bad. That's a wrong stream here. Um, Actors and idiots are born, not made. I go 50-50 with you. Sorry, Grange. I'm all over. When the stream is just regular questions, I get lost. I get dazed and confused. But before I go, check out Days with Jordan the Lions page. Subscribe to his page. The best in the business with the travel vlog. Fully edited videos, music, sound, and appearances by his better half, KM, and the dog. Um, so hold on, I haven't heard Lois in a minute. Let me just make sure she's alive. She is alive. She is alive. Glad Leota, classy tipper. But I mean, I learned that from my dad. I mean, I walk anytime I walk in to Dantana's or Jones, the C's part because very few people tip. So, you know, but I don't go out to eat that much, so I can afford to be a little, generous when I do. Oh shit, Ultimo Dragon, he's right up there with La Parka. See, that's Lois just letting you guys know she's still alive. Mustafa Ali, I was kind of hoping he'd go to AEW, but they got enough fucking people. I mean, I hear rumors. So let's see. Let's go on Twitter. Let's see, Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley, AEW debut. Let's see what happens when you type in. Let me see. Let's see the latest. Bobby Lashley breaks silence amongst. Let's see. Let's see what Bobby Lashley says. Not sure. Okay. AW rumors. It's just a blog with nothing. Oh, you have to subscribe to the blog. I mean, it's quite obvious that the Hurt Business is coming to AEW. Wait a minute. Are you going to take the Menendez brothers out for eat at Jones? Days Jordan the Lion, $5. Let's turn off the Earl sign since the gun is at low capacity. Thank you very much, Jordan the Lion. Unnecessary to have a longtime friend donate, but thank you very much. Let's turn the yes, there we go. I probably not, but they got to get out first. It went amazing, as Jesse Lee Peterson would say, amazing. at the Comedy Store last night. Of course, the show was 40 minutes behind because everyone ran the fucking lights. But welcome to the business. But I'm not gonna say I killed it, but I did very well, and I'll put it this way: very few comics could have had the set that I did last night going on last. I mean, it's not easy. It's literally like being the last guy in a gangbang. You are happy you're in the movie. You just wish you went on a little earlier. Hello, boing, boing, boing. Hopefully I'll be back this week. Um, I never know at the Comedy Store. I'm a little soldier. I just show up when I'm told. And hit the like button on your way out. Let's crack that algorithm. Why did Rogan have Trump on when you were available? I don't know. A lot. People were asking me last night, how come I've never been on Rogan? I don't know. I can't ask him to be on it because I know he hates that. I would love to be on it. I think that is the new Tonight Show. Tripoli was telling me last night how much extra views his special got and whatnot. 100% Zoom, 100%. I think part of me is like, well, he's had everyone on, so I at some point I think I would get asked again, but also another part of me goes like, well, if he wanted me on, he would have had me on by now. So I don't know. I'd be ready. I've been told, just go to Austin and do shows and he'll have you on, but I'm not going to go to Austin and loiter around like a fucking shelter dog. Do you think Jeff Ross told him not to? I wouldn't put anything past Jeff, but I also don't think Joe respects Jeff that much. So I don't think that would hinder me. Without naming names, do you know any male comics that advance their careers by taking care of male executives? I don't, to be honest with you. And obviously through my own experiences, I know the possibilities are out there, but I don't know of any myself, to be frank. Um, but there's, like I said, I think last night, there's gay executives, there's gay casting people, a lot of the below the line people. That's when I say below the line, um, below the actors, in the credits. A lot are gay. So yeah, but Perry's career was never anything good. Um, uh, that would be a fun name for a podcast, The Casting Couch, and just have it on a couch. Hello. It happens. Listen, I'm sure Andy Dick has pulled some bullshit on actors, Bryan Singer, of X-Men, he's well known for being a predator. Bruce Weber, the model photographer, he's well known for being a sexual predator. Um, you know, Maybe you need Sonny. No, I think I need Gary Hart as my manager. My brother, Earl Skakel, is the madman from the Sudan. Sonny Ono, man, I haven't heard that name in a minute. I think I need MVP to help me conduct some business. I think Andy Dick was too old. Earl, have you ever heard of a comedian taking 2 blue chews? This isn't a big guy. No, I have not. Hollywood sex, no boundaries. There's no limits to the depravity that I've seen. I know Jordan saw it when he was out here. My brother. There are some perverts. I can't wait for. If even half the rumors I've heard are true about some of the shenanigans going on inside the Diddy mansion. Oprah buying, offering, there's allegedly a sex tape out there of something happening to Bieber. But, who knows? It's probably just a rumor or whatever. But like, the rumor is Oprah has offered as much as 75 million to buy that tape. Do I think Andy Dick is a top or bottom? I try not to think about that, to be honest with you. I mean, I think to Andy Dick, a hole is a hole, brother. Uh, well, I mean, I don't think lube was in short supply at Diddy's LA house. I mean, what they find 858 dildos and 1,000 bottles of lube. I mean, that's next level. Um, so, uh, I try not to think about that. I'd really like to not end the stream on talking about lube and Andy Dick's sexual preferences. So let's say for the next 5 minutes, the next 4 minutes, we'll go to 1 minute. We'll go to 1 hour and 16 minutes. Ask Earl anything is the way we're going to end the stream tonight. No perverted questions, please. Andy Dick is definitely a pig bottom. Dr. Nova coming in with some gay references. I love it. But let's try Diddy Lube likely spiked. I mean, listen, I was just reading the thing on Yoshinoya downtown where some of the employees got fentanyl poisoned because people who did fentanyl would come in and pay for their food with money that had fentanyl on it. Do you think you didn't get molested because you kiss and tell? I mean, I was probably too big and they probably couldn't take me out. Should check out JCW Lunacy Live. They're doing live shows here on YouTube. Yeah, I mean, I'm all about that. Rudy Baga, the pink cocaine. Earl, who was your favorite Skakel State staff member when you were a kid? Leroy. Come on, man. Leroy. I don't know what happened to Mole. I'm not really in the big three mode. Isn't Yoshinoya the place that sells horse meat? No, that's Alistair Overeem's barbecue. Hello. No, Yoshinoya is like I don't know if they're nationwide. Jordan might know. It's like a fast food type restaurant, chicken teriyaki bowls and whatnot. And there's a Yoshinoya in MacArthur Park that is, on right on the corner where most of the fentanyl overdoses happen. And so they started not taking cash because the employees would get sick because they would take a $5 bill or whatever and it would have fentanyl on them. So they literally would have Narcan behind the counter for the employees in case they touched money with fentanyl on it. And no, don't ask me if Kay Quigley ate there, you maniacs. Who had a better approach when they went for you? The Fox executive, the great Randy Stone. He's dead now, so he can't sue me. But the statutes of limitations are over. Andy Dick just went for it. Midnight Laundry. We get some new people in the stream. Did someone's stream just end or something? Do you own a car? What is it? Tell the story of your first car with the emergency brake. Hello. I own a BMW. Was it the X3, Z3, X3, Z3? It's like almost like a soccer mom's car, but I like it. It's quiet. It's pretty fast. Sup, Dave? Are you going to marry Cheryl Hines now that she is divorcing your cousin? Yeah, I mean, she should marry into the Skakel wealth. Well, Dr. Nova, you might be wrong on that because several Yoshinoya employees got sick from touching money that had traces of fentanyl on it. Which is better, masked or face painted wrestlers? Face painted wrestlers, the Ultimate Warrior. Come on. Well, I don't know. I mean, Dr. Nova and William Zoom, I'm just saying what I read. A good way to get your foot in the Hollywood door. Sucking some executive's dick, I guess. I mean, that would get you in the door. Well, they might be EBT cards. Who knows? Sorry, the first time I got my car, well, the first time is, my mom said if I don't drink, I'll go to a little overtime since we hit the goal. See, I'm doing a little steel toe joke there. um, my mom said if I don't smoke till I'm 18, she would get me the car of my choice within reason, of course. And so I didn't smoke or drink till I was 18. So I did not caddy for Harvey Korman. Um, So she took me down to Ocean Motors, which is a BMW dealership on Santa Monica and 20th. I can remember the intersection. And I went into the showroom. The BMW dealer took me into the warehouse, which was behind the showroom. It's a dark room, like literally this dark. And just looked at me and said, pick. I just started scanning around the room like Schwarzenegger and Terminator, and I saw a bright red BMW. I said, that one. And my mom took a cab home because she was too nervous to drive with me. And now Santa Monica Boulevard and 20th to my parents' house in Bel Air. I guess it's anywhere from a 4 to 6 mile drive. And as I was getting off of Sunset, turning onto Stone Canyon Road, I noticed a bit of smoke appearing from the back of the BMW. I thought, yeah, no big deal. It's a new car. Maybe the brakes are getting warm or whatever. And as I pull into my parents' driveway, it looked like a Kiss concert was going on in the back of the car. And my dad comes down and goes, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, I don't know, man. It's my first car, Dad. I don't know. So my dad looks in the fucking inside of the front of the car. He's like, you fucking idiot. You got the emergency brake on. Boing. So, no, my mom did not trust me. I was a pretty good driver. In uh, I've had my driver's license since 1986. So, in 38 years, I've never been into an accident. And I've gotten one ticket in 1988. And they still tried, Farmers Insurance still tried to raise my insurance. So, I mean, my dad probably would have punched me in the head, but he knew my mom would kill him if he laid hands on the daddy man. Uh, yeah, I mean, Dave, I've had, they used to have Yoshinoya at the Staples Center, which is now crypto.com. We'll go 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. Thank you, Jordan, for the tip. My but I mean, like it was, and I'm friends with my insurance guy. I'm like, hey man, I just can't do this anymore with you guys. He's like, bro, you're the reason you're paying so much for insurance, even though you have literally a perfect driving record, is all the uninsured motorists that are in California. And I'm like, yeah, I don't buy that anymore. Like I get what he was saying, but it was also like, well, wait a minute. And he's like, and it's also your zip code. Now, my zip code is 90069. I said, bro, I live in West Hollywood. I live in a secure parking garage. I could understand my zip code if it was 90210 and I lived in like the 500 block of Rodeo Drive. But, well, no, I mean, it was going up. Well, the funny thing is the last insurance bill I got for my car was for the red Jeep I had. So, and now I have basically, I mean, it's a nice BMW, but it's essentially a soccer mom's van. So it's not even that fast, it's, the gas mileage is really good. I never really have to put a lot of gas in it, but I mean, my, driving history it's perfect. So, I was just like, all right, we got 20 more seconds before I hit end stream. Get that last minute question. And we're seeing a bump in 28 people in here, man. I mean, now the numbers are going up. All right, I'll go 5 more minutes since we got some newcomers. Maybe I'll go to the general car insurance. That's where Ryan Flynn coming in late. We got some late comers. Hey, I'm remaking the Quiet Riot song, "Mama, We're All Crazy Now." I'm coming up with a version that's "Mama, mama, 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 we're all crazy now. Mama, 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 we're all crazy." Um, well, Daryl in the house. We got some new schoolers coming into the stream. Unfortunately for you guys, this is going to be an hour and 25-minute stream. But we've already done an hour and 20 minutes because we hit the goal of $5. It's my goal now to make $5 every stream. I like to aim low. I don't trust insurance. Assholes just told my clients that I owed them money. They sent a letter canceling my payments a year or so later. Then 2 years later, they sent me money for over. That's what happened to me with my health insurance. Anthem health insurance. I literally have never had a major medical problem outside of a torn ACL, but like in terms of like serious, I mean, I've had skin cancer, but like luckily it was not that there's a good kind, but like it wasn't the bad kind. And I mean, I've never missed a payment. And then they cancel my health insurance, and I'm like, huh? Why? It's like, well, they didn't really have a reason. And then they sent me like 12 checks for overpayments, and I was like, huh? So you'll be on a new hairstyle by the time the special comes out. Tell me about it. No, I like my hairstyle now. It's high and tight on the sides, or longer on the top. Uh, I mean, yeah, the insurance, and I like my insurance guy. I feel bad, but I'm like, hey, man, like I'm not getting fucked by you guys anymore. I mean, you're telling me my insurance is going up again when I have one ticket in 36 years and no accidents in 38 years of driving. Oh yeah, I bet 100%. Like I understand at 56, I'm probably considered a risk or whatever, but I don't smoke, I don't drink. You know, um, yeah, it is legal extortion, to be honest with you. I don't like Kyle Fletcher's hair. Like I don't know, but that storyline's not working for me because we all know in real life, Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay are legit best friends. So I'm not feeling that storyline. I did have skin cancer. Uh, I mean, I had skin. You could probably, I don't know. I mean, you could see the scars right here, right. Hold on, right there, and right here, and it was a little scary because I once was playing hockey. Puck comes around the boards, and I played in a co-ed division at the time, so there was a smallish girl playing defense. I'm the right wing on her side, so I basically have to guard her. And we were gonna meet at the same time, and she put her stick up because I think she thought I was gonna fucking run her, which I never would have. And she cut me right here. So for a couple years, every now and then it was really bizarre. I'd have like a scab there. And then 3 days later it was gone, completely clear skin. And then 1 month later, scab. And I just thought it was the wound and it was just calcifying or something. Turns out it was skin cancer. And then I got it over here as well. So I had to go to Dr. Gal Abramov, who was an inappropriate Earl guest. And it wasn't that painful, the surgery. The weird part is you're awake. They obviously fucking put heavy Novocaine and freezing where they're digging. They dig into your forehead. They dig it out. They bring it down to the lab. Your forehead's open. And, they don't stop. They don't close it up until they're sure they got all the cancer out. And, obviously, it's scary to have cancer around your brain, like, not that you can get brain cancer from skin cancer, but it's still scary, but, you know, I made it happen. I mean, it wasn't really caught early, that's the thing is that, I'd had it for years, like 2 years probably, and I thought, "Oh, it's just the hockey wound coming back." And then, when I started getting it on the other side, I'm like, "Well, that's weird." No, I'm not, moving to Austin. I'm not someone asked me last night why I don't move there because they're an Austin comic in town, in LA, and they're like, "Oh, dude, you'd kill it in Austin. You get spots everywhere. People love you." And I'm like, "Nah, I'm good." I'm not gonna go to another city and start over. And then someone asked me, "Why don't you go to New York? You'd kill it in New York." Because I'm well liked in the comedy world. I'm seen in the comedy world with bookers and club owners. There's no drama. And, obviously I have some name cachet with being the Saturday night closer at the Comedy Store, but I'm like, I'm not going to New York to start over again. At 56, fuck that. That's why I don't really have an interest in playing the Cellar. And they probably don't have an interest in me, but I'm not gonna go to the Cellar, get past at the Cellar, and then get shit spots at 56 years old. Fuck that. Well, but that's just me. Some people love the grind. I talk about the time, the first guy I did the road with, Roger Peltz, and he loved doing the road. And this guy was like, he was almost like a white Nipsey Russell, where he was like on all those 70s game shows, and you kind of didn't know who he was, but he was always on the celebrity panels. So he was like a celebrity, but you didn't know why. And he just loved the road, man. I mean, the first road gig I did with him was Elko, Nevada, where it was a Friday night gig, and the comedy club was literally in the lobby bar. They'd set up a little space, and maybe 30 people in there, and I was pretty bad at that time. I mean, I was maybe 3 years in or whatever, and then, he killed, like, for an hour plus, he killed. And then the next night, we go to Winnemucca, Nevada, or Winners Casino in Winnemucca, Nevada, and, it was weird, like, the stage was on the other side of the dance floor. The dance floor was empty because they didn't wanna put chairs on it to scuff it up, and then the comedy crowd was on the other side of the dance floor, so you had, like, I don't know, 150 feet between you and the first row, and it was I mean, I was not ready at that time for that kind of comedy, and Roger fucking killed, man. And I was like, "Why aren't you in LA, man?" And he's like, "Ah, fuck that. I like doing the road." And the road, when you're at like a Roger Peltz level, it sucks because yeah, I mean, he was great and he was headlining, but it's so much driving. I mean, 10-hour drives. You do the gig. Next morning, you got to be in Idaho. And then the next day, you got to be in Montana. And then the next day, you got to be in Hood River, Oregon. I mean, you're just driving all over. You're barely making money. And that's if you're the headliner. If you're the feature, you're fucked. So well, I mean, I mean, I get along with Mark Norman and all of Attell likes me, I think I would be taken care of, but I'm not gonna start in another city, fuck that. I mean, I know I'd get spots at the stand like that, and, based on who the sellers passed in the last couple of years, I should be able to get past there pretty easily. Um, Daryl, co-ed hockey, the only legal way to beat your wife. 100%, 100%. Was Roger getting that road poon? I had my girlfriend with me at the time, so I'm not sure what Roger was doing, but he was like a good-looking older guy. I mean, in every city I was in with Roger, there's always some slob that wants to hook up with the comic. But I had a lady friend at the time, so I was not indulging in the finer fruits of labor on the road, if you know what I'm saying. All right, we got 30 more seconds, kids. Get your last question before I end the stream and go work out at John Reed Fitness. Hit the like button on your way out. I think Kip Smith just put out a tweet If you could like or retweet that, maybe I can get on this guy's podcast. I was. I'll end the story with this. This is a good story to end on because I really don't want to end the stream on talking about Andy Dick's sexual shenanigans. So one night I'm at the Comedy Store, and I'm told right before I go on stage, "Hey, Dave may come on." So if I give you the code word over the loudspeaker, bring him up. I'm like, Attell or Chappelle? He's like, Attell. So I'm about 10, 15 minutes into my act in the main room, and Danny comes over. Earl, it's time. Dave. So I bring up Dave Attell, and Dave Attell is awesome. Like, he is everything that the business should be. One of the all-time greats. And I could tell he was like not embarrassed to interrupt my set, but like he felt bad or whatever. I could just tell. And so I bring him up, give him a big hug, go out to the patio to talk to friends, and all the employees come rushing. Hey, Dave wants you on stage again. And I didn't really want to go on. I'm like, I don't want to. He's like, no, he's asking for you specifically. So, the last thing you want to do is do a set, bring up a famous comic, and then go back out on stage because they want to end on a tell, not me. Even I get that. And so for about 10 minutes, me and Attell did uh, the funny version of bumping mics, where we were just doing shtick, and I kind of wanted to get off the stage, to be honest with you, because I'm like, Dave's great. He was setting me up with some home run lines. And then Dave just goes, I'll see you later. And then, so I had to do another 15 minutes of stand up after they just saw Attell. So I love Attell. Like, he's always nice to me, never giving me attitude. I mean, I'm a fan. Um, yeah, I mean, I would love to do a show like Insomniac. Robert Reed, hello, William Zoom. There's a Google Drive thing that has every episode of Insomniac. They're fun to watch. Yeah, I mean, you could find anything on Google, like archive. Someone told me about the archived internet and say, hey, if you're ever looking for something and you can't find it, look here. So this has been the Earlverse stream Sunday night edition. Hit the like button, share it if you can or whatever, retweet it. And I will see you guys tomorrow night. Earl Skakel over and out.